All right, today I'm here with Sergeant First Class.
Yes.
I got it right again.
Good
yes,
job.
Sergeant First Class Gary Combs, a.k.a., if you know him on the streets, Gator.
That's right.
So you serve in the United States Army Reserve, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm on active duty, paid by the reserves, working currently as a recruiter.
Okay. We got to go to Gator first. How'd you get the nickname?
You don't know me well enough for me to tell you.
Oh, man. Present company as well, probably.
I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. One day.
It's all good.
One day.
I might come back.
One day. Maybe still. So, did you initially sign up for the reserve, or were you in the Army first? Or
Yeah, I'm a typical person. I grew up here in Springfield area. Graduated from Kickapoo. Not my fault. It's where my parents lived.
I'm also a chief. I'm also a chief alma mater myself.
I'm 82.
Yeah,
Actually,
01.
Mr. Pitt and I graduated together. if
Really,
you
he
know
was.
that name.
Yeah, he was teaching when I went there.
Well, not Mr. Pitt that you know, the guy who's in the movies. So,
oh, Bradley.
yes, he and I
Okay.
graduated together.
Maybe
but
his name was Pittman.
no one cares.
I don't know.
It's all good. Anyway, I did what everybody else did right after high school. Went to college with no plan, and totally screwed that up. So after
blew a
2
lot of money.
semesters,
Yeah.
I had a 1.75 GPA.
Woo, mama.
Did that all by myself.
Yeah. Did you actually go to class?
You know, I made the mistake of planning all my classes from 8 to noon, thinking, wow, I can work, hang out with my girlfriend in the afternoons. I got things made.
Awful. Worst idea
How many
ever.
8 o'clock classes do you think I went
Dude,
to?
I did the same thing my first semester of college. I was like, oh, college algebra, 7:30 a.m.
Not
And
happening.
I did not pass that class,
No.
and I had to retake it.
No, and if it was raining, I'm not going to walk across campus.
No.
It's nice out, man. I'd rather be at the lake or on the golf course. So
yeah.
the only class I had an A in my first semester was bowling, down in the Bears Den at
Yeah,
used to be
I know
SMS.
it's still there.
'Cause
Well,
I
it
liked
was
it.
still there. I don't know
Yeah.
if it still is there.
I liked it and did well. So after 2 semesters, I quit school. Started working a couple jobs, and a year went by, and I'm still working 2 jobs. Going, this cannot be my life. So out of respect for my dad, I went to go see the Navy recruiter, and unfortunately, that guy turned out to be a jerk. Nothing
Okay.
against Navy,
Yeah.
but he totally turned me off of that option.
Yeah.
Went across the street. Long story short, met with the Army guy and chose a job with the Army Reserves, because I wasn't looking for full time, although that's a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking to stay around here. I grew up here. I wanted to live here. Wanted to go back to school, so I needed money to go back to school. I wanted a job to give me some training so I could get a good civilian job, since I was going to go part time
Yeah.
here, and I wanted to be able to stay. So picked a job in the medical field. Go figure. Never did anything medical before. No experience there, but I qualified for that job, which was great. Went off to training at Fort Knox, Kentucky in the fall of that year, and then in December transferred down to San Antonio, Texas for my medical training. And my first job was behavior science.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a counselor. They
Yeah,
call it
yeah.
mental health stuff.
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah.
So I trained with that for 6 months, graduated from that, and came back. And that's the difference between the reserves and active duty, right? I trained with guys who were going to do this full time, and I was coming back home to do it part time. I call it Fort Lazy Boy, right? I came back home. So 10 days after I came home from that training, I was hired by St. John's Hospital,
Okay.
and I worked there full time for 12 years.
Oh, wow. That's great.
I worked in adolescent psych.
Even while you were going to school?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Worked in adolescent psych while I was still doing my reserve thing, 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer. And after 6.5 years of doing that, I transferred to purchasing, where I was a buyer of non-medical supplies for the health system.
Okay.
And then went back to school. And I found out, you may know this, Mike, I didn't know this, but if you actually go to class, study, turn in your assignments, your GPA goes up.
And you
I
can
had
graduate.
no clue. I had no clue.
You know the thing about college that just drives me crazy? Well, it's a two-way street. One is what you're saying right now is a perfect example of you get these kids that are just like, free, I'm out. And they get there, you don't realize you're literally paying for your education, or somebody is paying for this. Or you're going to end up paying for this in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. And then the other end of the spectrum is that drove me crazy, especially in my field, is we would get up to certain levels of classes and courses, and they would hire professors in one particular that was supposed to teach a very high level, like audio engineering class, who was a Chinese national who could barely
Couldn't
speak
understand.
English. And I'm like, I'm paying this amount of money. And by that time, my GPA was great. I was going like 18 hours, working 2 jobs. I was so ready to get the hell out of there and go and do what I wanted to do. And I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. So, it's like that. It's a two-way street. It's like, I can't believe colleges do that. And I also can't believe college students are just like, screw it.
Right.
But
I had
it's
no
part
business.
of growing up, because I did the same. I mean, I barely made through the first 2 years, and I'm lucky I did.
I had no business going to college right after
Yeah.
high school, and I don't think everyone has to go to school.
No.
But you have to have a plan.
No,
And I
yeah,
had no plan.
yeah.
I changed my major 4 times in those 2 semesters. I had no idea what I was doing. But once I joined the reserves, it gave me kind of a more confidence, and I had a better ability to make good decisions.
Yeah, a better outlook.
Yep, I went back to school. I went to OTC and got my associate's degree, finished with a 3.55, a little better, and graduated from Evangel University right here in Springfield with a bachelor's degree in business administration and management with a 3.75.
Nice.
So it's amazing once you apply yourself what you can come up with. And if I would have based my future on those first 2 semesters of college, as this is what I've got for the rest of my life, it would have been wrong.
It would have been a completely different story.
Right, because I was basing it on not having a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think a lot of young people do. They don't have a plan, they're just existing, blah, 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 and I'll get through. You got to have a plan. You got to put something together and follow that plan.
Extremely valid. I mean, I didn't really figure it out until I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got into this right before that, and I kind of was just like, I'm going to ride this baby out as far as I can.
Yeah.
And then in the midst of it, made a career out of it. So
Yeah.
I guess I got lucky.
I was working at the hospital, and I was in the reserves, and they offered me an opportunity saying that they had some positions with an active duty position for the reserves. It's called AGR, as a recruiter here in town. I jumped on that because I love the reserves. I made I was closer to some people in the reserves that we met 1 week in a month than I was with people I went to high school with for 4 years every day, just because we shared a common bond, right?
Yeah.
So I jumped on it. And so in June of 99, when this young lady sitting beside me, my daughter was 10 months old, I became a recruiter for the reserves. I've been very blessed. I was able to stay here for 12 years. They moved me up to Chicago for 3 years and then to Columbia. And that whole time, we live in Republic. And my wife and my 4 kids stayed here.
Oh, wow.
I didn't take them with me. So they call that a geographical bachelor.
Yeah.
So while I've never been deployed, Mike. I've been in 31 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
And never been deployed. Not everyone who joins does go.
Yeah.
But everyone's ready to go if called.
Yeah.
But I tell you, the time away from my family was like a deployment.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it
'cause
was.
I couldn't be there I missed Rachel as a twin, and I missed their whole junior high experience.
Yeah.
Sports and school and
Some would
homework
say
and all
you may
that.
have lucked out on that.
They may have, but I'll
emotions.
guarantee you the job that I
I
have,
know.
it's like a
I'm
30-day
kidding.
mission
Yeah,
over and over and
yeah.
over
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
18
Oh,
years
yeah.
of recruiting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I've enjoyed it. I've been very fortunate, and I've helped over 450 folks join the reserves in that period of time. I've seen a lot of lives changed.
Yeah.
And, people may look at it for different reasons, right? We've got college money. We've got skill training. A lot of people will go to college and have to pay for it to get certifications where they could join our program either full-time or part-time. We'll pay you while you get trained, and you can use that skill to get a civilian job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a win-win deal all the way around.
Yeah. Make it work for you.
Yeah. And our benefit packages right now with our programs, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, a part-time job that'll give you a $20,000 sign-on bonus and will pay up to $50,000 of student loans off, you're not going to find that anywhere else.
Our HR manager, she's reserves.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And my oldest son, Nathan, joined the reserves in the past, became a combat engineer, had a great experience there. And it helped him, I think, get some more confidence and understand a little bit more of the world. And it's been great to me. I love recruiting. I don't love no one loves their job every day, having to get up and go to work. But I love what I've been able to do. And I think I've been fairly decent at it. And I'm going to be retiring, looking for a new path here shortly.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I hear, man.
yeah.
Well, thank you for your service. And like you said, I mean, it's one thing that we find every week when we do this is every story is completely different and every experience is unique to the individual, just like yours. So that's awesome. So thank you for your service, and thanks for coming to lunch today. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Now, before I get off the horn here, you might want to chat with this young lady. My daughter is here with me today.
Okay.
She's 19, graduated from Republic. She has a different perspective, being a child of a soldier that might be of interest to some of your listeners.
Yeah. Do you have a different perspective?
I don't really know. It's different from my life than other people's because I don't really know the life of other people. But
Well, I mean, but the question is about your experience. So so what's your experience?
So, I know growing up, it was always like a competition around our house. He was always making us stay like physical and stuff. Like every night before bed, we'd always do like push-ups and sit-ups, and then he'd make us army crawl to our rooms.
That's so awesome.
So that's
Skills
different.
you need.
That's a good.
in life.
That's a good.
I'm sure
memory.
most people
That's
don't
good.
do that.
Did you carry it on? Like, do you still work out? Are you fit? What do you do? I mean,
I do work out still,
So it obviously made an impact
Yeah.
on you and
I don't
going
army
forward.
crawl in
So
my room anymore.
I
But
mean, he didn't sit behind you with a cane and make
Right.
you. I mean, so that's an awesome skill to learn, especially at a young age.
And sports were very important. I like.
Good, thank you.
I've enjoyed having most of our kids, all of them at one point, had played some kind of sports and had another adult be a mentor or a coach for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. You learn a lot about life through sports.
That's actually, I was gonna say that I was gonna ask you when you were talking about the camaraderie that you felt within the reserve, and I was gonna ask you if you played team sports because I never served, but my stepfather has my whole life, and my uncles and my grandfathers, and I was just super heavy into team sports as a kid from the moment I could walk till through high school. And so that's where I got that team. Like, I'm super team oriented, and anything we do, anything I do, I love team. I love competition. Like, I eat it up. So that's kind of the same thing. You can't get that in the real world because there are a lot of people out there that don't really care about that stuff, and it's frustrating. No.
So, for me, I never. I loved playing sports growing up. Softball was my life, teenagers to my early 20s.
Yeah.
Played for my church. Was never quite good enough to make any of the teams, but played a lot of basketball, intramurals, and things like that. And I encouraged my kids to play.
Yeah.
And so my older two boys, Nathan and Jonathan, both played sports in high school. Nathan played basketball and tennis. Jonathan played basketball and golf. Rachel at one point was playing basketball, soccer, running track, and volleyball.
Dang.
And then
What was your
narrowed it
favorite?
down to
Volleyball.
Volleyball?
Yeah.
Do you still play?
Yeah, occasionally.
Do you do it at the field house? Isn't that where they do it? Don't they have a volleyball thing up
They have a
there?
lot of organized
Yeah,
leagues
yeah,
there.
yeah. I
She
think
played
one
a
of our
lot of
cells
that
are
club
up
ball stuff in high school, so we traveled a lot.
Yeah.
And I was, thank goodness I was home for that.
Yeah,
Her
that's
last
cool. Yeah.
3 years of high school, I was basically home, or 2 years of high school, I was home and got to experience
That's cool.
that. We paid out the nose for a lot of that travel and hotels,
Yeah,
but it was a great experience
yeah,
for
absolutely.
her. And I think you can learn a lot from sports
Oh, yeah.
about contributing to something that's bigger than yourself, about filling your part
Yeah.
of life or
Yeah.
job or
Absolutely.
team,
Yeah.
and learning to count on other people, know that other people are counting on
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So-
That's a great way to put it. That's a
Yeah.
great way to put it. So, what other experiences did you have?
Oh, like he was saying earlier, he was gone for 4.5 years, which is really hard on all of us. It's like
I can imagine.
most of the time they're gone for like a year or so and
Yeah.
come back. But
God bless your mom, man. That's a heavy job.
Yeah.
I was reading an article the other day. It was saying stay-at-home moms equates to 2.5 full-time jobs,
Yeah.
which that's a lot of shoes to fill. That's huge. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know what I was getting at. So you'd be like, we maybe see him like maybe once a month, and that got really hard. And then it kind of, I wouldn't say we got used to it, but we kind of did get used to it. But it's always been hard. But
Yeah.
then he got to come home and
Yeah.
it was weird when he came home though, because we were so used to him being gone that we had like new rules when he came back. That we didn't like.
There was actually a bedtime,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
structuring,
yeah,
let's see your
yeah.
homework kind of
Structure
thing.
kind of returns.
Yeah, but it's kind of like when,
funny.
and again, I've never been deployed, but when soldiers come back from a deployment, there's a transition phase
Yeah.
of getting back into your mold with your family
Yeah.
and all the relationships and how everything works.
Yeah.
And it was definitely after being gone 4.5 years and coming home every once in a while, it was when I was home full time. It was definitely a culture shock and a culture change for most of us.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
yeah.
Well, food's here, so I guess we got to stop. But,
All right. Well, thanks so much for the opportunity.
No. Thank you
and
for coming.
I appreciate what you've done. You've done this for a while now,
3
meeting
years.
with veterans and recognizing it's so important that I think we
it's huge.
continue that. We recognize their service, but also inspire the younger generation to take a look at options.
Yeah,
and,
and that's something that I've come back to 1,000 times. Is these guys that come out with like huge careers, and anything after is like you've got to make it work for you.
Yeah.
Find something that's going to help you on down the line.
Yeah, and the opportunities that we offer at our office, you know, we're just there to show you an option, and it's not something that you have to take advantage of, just to see if you're qualified and see what's out there. But they're welcome to come by and see us. We're at the corner of Kansas and Kearney. They could call us at 865-6458. Go online to goarmy.com. But we'd like them to drop by and see us so we can meet them in person and just let them see if it's something that they might be willing to do, or see if they can make the cut.
Yeah,
you know,
sounds
to
good.
join our team.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming.
Appreciate it so much.